YouTube, this is Karim from Mathemagic, and thank you for subscribing to the channel and following the regular news and updates and little techniques that we like to do and share for mathematics so that you can learn to be better and learn to count fast, because it's really important. And today I'm going to work on something which seems really hard and seems crazy, but by the end of this little video you should be able to do 115 times 115 in your head in less than 3 seconds. I'm not joking, you'll be able to do it if you follow the technique and you work out the steps. Okay, so there's one small prerequisite, and that is that you should know your times tables. You should know that 5 times 6 is 30. You should know that 6 times 7 is 42. You should know that 5 times 6 is, or 5 times 7 is 35. You should know your times tables. So if you don't know your times tables, then learn your times tables first, because this needs times tables as a skill. The other thing you'll need to know is what a square number is and why this is so important. Well, squaring numbers is when we multiply numbers by themselves. So for example, if I say 5 times 5, which is 25, that is 5 squared. If I say 6 times 6, that's 36. That's 6 squared. It's a number times itself. So why, might you ask, we might be, why are we interested in squares in mathematics? Well, there's so many techniques in number theory that need you to know how to square numbers so that you can count faster, that knowing your squares is an extremely important skill. So the idea of a square is a number times itself. And just like with so many things in maths which are very cool and very complicated, but not so complicated, this thing here is a pattern, and it's a beautiful pattern of numbers because it's so simple and it's so powerful at the same time. So here goes the pattern. You notice that 15 squared is 225. If you don't believe me, go grab a calculator, do 15 times 15, the calculator will return 225. So 15 times 15 is 225, and you can do this with 25 squared, you get 625, so 25 times 25 is 625, and 35 squared is 1225. So the first thing you should notice is that all these numbers end with 25. That's because you're squaring numbers that end with 5, and 5 times 5 is 25. So of course the number's going to end with 25, and that's okay. So that makes the last 2 digits quite easy to deal with, and we don't have to think about them. So then the skill is, can I find the first digit, or can I find the first 2 digits, or the first 3 in this case? Well, this is where the pattern comes in, and this is where I was amazed the first time I saw this, and I hope that you're amazed today that you can find that too, and that you don't need to remember any of those numbers, you just need to understand what I'm about to explain to you. You take the first digit and you multiply it by the next counting number. So if the first digit is a 1, you do 1 times 2. If the first digit is a 6, you do 6 times 7. If the first digit is a 4, you do 4 times 5. And that's all you need to do. This is why you need to know your times tables. Now, of course, I'm not here to teach you your times tables today, but if you know your times tables, then this method is not too hard. Okay? So let's see, 15 squared, 1 times 2 is 2, 2, and then 225. 25 squared, my first digit is a 2. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so I start with a 6, and then the number ends with 25. 35 squared, so 3 times 4 is 12. So my first 2 digits are 12, and then I add 25. 4, so 4 times 5 is 20, and then I add 25, so 25. 5, well 5 times 6 is 30, so you just do 30 and add 25 at the end. 6 times 7 is 42, so 42, 25, and then 75 squared, so 75 times 75, you do 7 times 8 is 56, and you add 25 at the end. Did you know that you could do 75 times 75 in less than 3 seconds? This is it, 5625. That doesn't take any time at all. All you need to know is you need to know how to do 7 times 8, which is in your times tables, and you should know at a very young age already. So let's see, 115 squared. Well, that's got a little bit more of a trick to it, which is, do we know how to multiply numbers by 11, or do we know our times tables up to 12? And if you know that 11 times 12 is 132, which a lot of students know, then you just say 132 and then 25. So again, it starts with 11, so you do 11 times 12. What's the number that comes after 11? Oh, it's 12, so I do 11 times 12. That's the technique. That's all there is to it. It's not hard, it's not super complicated, you just need to know your times tables, and you can square any number that ends in 5. Up to like 115 squared, which is pretty spectacular. Now, I'm not saying that this should be like a party trick or anything, because maybe you'll get kicked out of the party for being too nerdy, but it's definitely something that you can use while you're doing mathematics and sciences in general. So just be aware of that, and next time you come across squaring a number that ends in 5, try this and then check your work on a calculator to see if it was right or not. And just try this technique, and then in 5 to 10 minutes, once you've mastered it, it's a skill you've acquired for life. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this little math trick, which I absolutely love. So I hope that you've enjoyed it too, because I think it's pretty beautiful, and finding patterns is what makes mathematics so amazing. You can like, follow and subscribe. So if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, press subscribe. And you can find this on Instagram at MathemagicMD, and on Facebook it's HL Mathemagic. Thank you for following the channel, and I'll see you on our next video.